पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. Hare Krishna. So we'll come back, resume in our study and discussion from the 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. This chapter presents the origin of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the foundation or the origin of Srimad Bhagavatam? This was one of the questions raised by the sages. They wanted to know about the speaker, that is Shukadeva Goswami. They are also interested to know about the hearer, Parikshit Maharaj. It will come in the end of this chapter, this canto. And they also want to know that how Srimad Bhagavatam came into origin. So these are the instructions of Narad Muni given to Srila Vyasadeva, which became the basis of presentation of Srimad Bhagavatam. And in this section in particular, what we are saying, that Narad Muni is sharing his experience.
प्रभु जी आपकी आवाज म्यूट हो गई है.
म्यूट कहाँ हो गई है? म्यूट तो नहीं है. बाकी सबको सुन रही है भाई. Are you all able to hear?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Yes, तो
अरे आप दोबारा से ज्वाइन करो भाई. आपके सबको सुनाई दे रहा है, आपको छोड़ के. Everyone is able to hear.
now it's audible.
आपका अपना म्यूट था. ठीक है.
Now it's audible.
Okay, anyway. So we see this section where Narad Muni is specifically mentioning to Vyasadeva the importance of dedicating all the activities for the service of the Lord. I think I discussed till 35th. I will have to begin from 36th. So let us see the 35th verse. Thirty-fifth verse, very important aspect is mentioning bhagavat-paritoṣaṇam. What is the purpose of performing all activities? Or it is samsiddhi haritoṣaṇam. We have read it in the 3rd chapter, samsiddhi haritoṣaṇam. Here it is bhagavat-paritoṣaṇam. The purpose of performing all activities of karma is for the satisfaction of the Supreme. And when one performs karma for the satisfaction of the Supreme, what is the natural outcome? Jñānaṁ yat tat adhīnam. He is established in the knowledge. He is established in the transcendental knowledge. And that transcendental knowledge, it already contains bhakti-yoga. So you see, whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called bhakti-yoga. Bhagavat-paritoṣaṇam. Another name for bhakti-yoga is Bhagavat-paritoṣaṇam. Any action which is performed to please the Lord is bhakti-yoga. Here it is. Whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called bhakti-yoga. Or transcendental loving service to the Lord, which is called knowledge, becomes a concomitant factor. So naturally, one will receive this knowledge. So knowledge is not out of one's scholarship or his intelligence. Knowledge is the result of one performing devotional service. What is the verse in Bhagavad-gītā? Krishna speaks that beautiful verse in the 4th chapter. Who is eligible to receive this transcendental knowledge? Anyone remembers the verse? Fourth chapter, Krishna is speaking. Who is eligible to receive this transcendental knowledge? And we have discussed fourth chapter more than once. Yes, there, Shri Prabhu. बोलिए रविंदर. Okay, रविंदर Prabhu. Sorry. बोलिए.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Priyanka, yeah, a little louder, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Tadviti pranipāt prashnena sevaya.
Okay, that is one. Yes, good. But here, in the context of what we are discussing, who is eligible to receive knowledge? Shraddhavan labhate jñānaṁ tatpara sanyateendriya jñānam labdhva param shantim achirena adhigacchati. The one who has faith. What is the faith? That Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Pritho. Krishna Bhakti Kaile. This is bhagavat-paritoṣaṇam. Sarva Karma Pritho. Yad at kriyate karma. So Narad Muni is giving this recommendation that this is where there has been the mistake on part of Srila Vyāsa, that he did not present this principle. It goes further. Kurvan yatra karmani bhagavad sikshai asikrit grihnanti guna namani Krishna anusmaranti cha. It goes even further. Very beautiful. Kurvan yatra karmani. That is, while performing duties according to the orders. Bhagavad Siksha Asikrit. And how is he performing the activities? According to the instructions. Bhagavad Siksha. Where is the Bhagavad Siksha? Where do we know where is the Bhagavad Siksha? Yes, Sonika?
Prabhuji, in Bhagavad-gītā.
Yes, simple. Bhagavad Siksha is in Bhagavad-gītā. How we have to perform action according to the instruction given by Krishna in Bhagavad-gītā. So, Kurvani yatra karmani bhagavad sikshai asakrit. Asakrit means without intervention or without interruption. And grihnanti guna namani. One constantly remembers him by repeatedly remembering his names and his qualities. Krishna anusmaranti. Smaran means to remember, and anusmaran means as it has been recommended to remember. While performing duties according to the order of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one constantly remembers him by repeatedly remembering his names and his qualities. Very, very important principle for all sadhakas like us. That what it means to remember Krishna. It does not mean what it means to remember Krishna, that you sit idle and what you do nothing, and then if you are asked, what are you doing? I am remembering Krishna. No. That is not the recommendation by Narad Muni. Neither is this the process given by Vyāsa in Srimad Bhagavatam. One has to constantly perform action as per the order and instruction of Krishna or his representative. And as one performs orders and instructions as per Krishna or his representative, his bona fide representative, one is constantly remembering Krishna. This is very important. We will discuss this. Anusmaranti. It is not smaranti, it is anusmaranti. Anusmaranti means it is following in the footsteps. Everywhere in Bhagavatam you will see it is, the word will come is anu. Anu means to follow into the footsteps of the previous acharyas. While performing duties according to the order of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one constantly remembers him. Simple. By repeatedly remembering his names and his qualities. Once, Srila Prabhupada was asked that how can we return home back to Godhead? Krishna gives the principle in Bhagavad-gītā. Who can return home back to Godhead? What is the criteria? What is the criteria given by Krishna in the Bhagavad-gītā? That how can one return back to him? Simple, it's the universal principle. बोलिए
सर्व धर्माणि परित्यज्य करोति।
प्रभु हर जगह नहीं फिट होगा, पहले सुनो।
अच्छा।
आपको 18 चैप्टर का नाम भी पता है? हाँ,
नहीं पता प्रभु जी।
तो चुपचाप सुनो। ये लोग कई सालों से सुन रहे हैं, 10-10 साल से सुन रहे हैं। What is the criteria given in Bhagavad-gītā? Simple formula Krishna gives. Antakale cha mameva smarana muktva kalevaram ya priyati samadbhava नाति अस्ति अत्र संशय। है या नहीं? याद है या भूल गए? अंते नारायण स्मृति. So how that Narayan Smriti will come? Here it is the principle given. One who has constantly worked for Krishna. That means he is constantly remembering Krishna. And at the time of death, Krishna will bring his remembrance. Matta Smritir Jñānaṁ apohanam cha. When we discuss the 8th chapter, we discuss this in much detail. So a devotee has never to bother whether how he will, meet the time of death, what will be his situation. Why? Because if he has followed this principle, see, the principle is very powerful. This is the powerful principle given by Narad Muni, which becomes the basis that while performing duties according to the orders of Sri Krishna, one constantly remembers him by repeatedly remembering his names and his qualities. So action, if you are performing according to the instruction, everything else will be taken care of. Prabhupada says an expert devotee of the Lord can mold his life in such a way that performing all kinds of duties, either for this or for the next life, he can constantly remember the Lord's name, fame, qualities, etc. The order of the Lord is distinctly there in the Bhagavad-gītā. Same point. One should work only for the Lord in all spheres of life. There's a very beautiful verse in the 9th chapter, where the order of the Lord is very clear for everyone. What is that order? Bhagavad-paritoṣaṇam. What is that Bhagavad-paritoṣaṇam? बोलिए, सारा गीता आप लोग भूल रहे हैं क्या? What is the order in the 9th chapter? See, I am talking in context to what we are discussing. Please keep that in mind. In the 9th chapter, there are so many instructions, but there is a specific instruction to what we are discussing. That while performing all duties according to the orders of Sri Krishna. Now, what is the order of Sri Krishna? In the 9th chapter, one very famous is Man Mana Bhav Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskaro. But we are not talking about that order. In context to performing all duties or all actions or all activities. Very powerful verse. Yes, Sonika?
Prabhuji, I don't remember the whole verse, but Sattam Kirtayanto Mam.
Not in this context. Yes, Priyanka? Priyanka or Ravindra Prabhu, whoever wants to answer.
ऐसा और से यत करोषि यद
Yes.
असनासि
Yes, yes, yes. Yad karoshi, yad ashnashi. Yad juhusi dadati, yad tapassasi kaunteya kurusva mad arpanam. Every activity what you have to do as an offering to me for my satisfaction. This is bhagavat-paritoṣaṇam. Yad karoshi, yad ashnashi. Show that verse, Manoram Prabhu. It is 9th chapter. And I think it is 23rd or 24th verse. Yad karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhushi, dadasi yad tapassasi kaunteya purusva madharpanam.
27.
27
27. Yes. 9.27. Yeah. So yad karoshi, whatever actions you perform, and yad ashnashi, whatever you eat. So before eating, what we have to do? We have to offer. So whatever you do, whatever you eat, then whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, come down. Do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. And Prabhupada said, this is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget Krishna in any circumstances. Exactly the same purport. You see the purport now. The purport that we are discussing. Close the purport, Prabhu. Manoram Prabhu, please close the purport. See, this is exactly the same way Prabhupada is opening the purport here. An expert devotee of the Lord can mold his life in such a way, same thing, that while performing all kinds of duties together for this or in the next life, he can constantly remember the Lord's name, fame, quality, etc. The order of the Lord is distinctly there in the Bhagavad-gītā. This is the order. One should work for the Lord in all spheres of life. Yad karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhusi, yad dadasi, yad tapasyasi, kurusva madarpanam. In every sphere of life, the Lord should be situated as the proprietor, according to the Vedic rites. Even in the worship of some demigods like Indra, Brahma, Saraswati, and Ganesha, the system is that in all circumstances, the representation of Vishnu must be there as the Yagneshwara. This is bhagavat-paritoṣaṇam, or the controlling power of such sacrifice. It is recommended that a particular demigod be worshipped for a particular purpose, but still the presence of Vishnu is compulsory in order to make the function proper. Apart from the Vedic duties, even in our ordinary dealings, for example, in our household affairs, in our business or profession, Prabhupada is so practical. We must consider that the result of all activities must be given over to the Supreme Enjoyer, Lord Krishna. In the Bhagavad-gītā, Lord has declared himself to be the supreme enjoyer of everything, the supreme proprietor of every planet, and the supreme friend of all beings. This is a very famous verse, very simple. Everything is mentioned in this purport. Which verse is this? आप बताओ गोपाल, ये कौन सा वर्स है? प्रभुपाद ने उसका एग्जैक्ट ट्रांसलेशन दिया है यहाँ पर. देखिए, अगर भगवत गीता आती नहीं है तो भागवतम में आप करेंगे क्या? भागवतम आपको कुछ लेनी पड़ेगी. Which verse is this from Bhagavad-gītā?
एक बार प्रभु रिपीट करेंगे दोबारा जो आपने लास्ट कौन से कॉन्टेक्स्ट में बोल रहे हैं?
In the Bhagavad-gītā, the Lord has declared himself to be the supreme enjoyer of everything, the supreme proprietor of every planet, and the supreme friend of all beings. Well, yeah, exact translation है verse का. पुरुषोत्तम,
हरे कृष्ण को याद नहीं है.
याद कहाँ से आएगा? क्योंकि हम खुद ही बने हुए हैं ना. हमने क्या कर रखा है, कृष्ण को तो हटा रखा है और खुद ही को समझ रहे हैं हम कि आई एम द सुप्रीम एंजॉयर ऑफ एवरीथिंग, द सुप्रीम प्रोप्राइटर। तो फिर कहाँ से कृष्ण कहाँ से याद आएंगे? ये भगवत गीता का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट वर्स है, इसके अंदर भगवत गीता नहीं आती।
माँ कर्म कर्म फल फल हेतेषु करके है कुछ ऐसा, याद तो नहीं है मेरे ख्याल से,
हाँ,
थोड़ा थोड़ा मेरे को ध्यान।
नहीं वो आप जो कह रहे हैं कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते है, वो नहीं है यहाँ।
नहीं वो नहीं है, वो नहीं,
हाँ, नहीं पता तो बोलो नहीं पता ना, बी ऑनेस्ट।
नहीं पता।
हाँ,
नहीं।
अभी इसलिए आपको ना थोड़ा सुनना पड़ेगा और गीता का अध्ययन करना पड़ेगा, कम से कम 3 से 5 साल, कम से कम 3 से 5 साल। वैसे तो भगवत गीता का अध्ययन पूरे जीवन भर किया जाएगा, तभी कुछ ही बहुत थोड़ा ही समझ पाएंगे, क्योंकि भगवत गीता असीमित है, उसकी कोई सीमा नहीं। बोलो गणेश, विच वर्स इज दिस?
प्रभु जी, भोक्ताराम यज्ञ तपस्या सर्वलोक महेश्वर
Yes.
तपस्या।
Bhokta is enjoyer. Exactly, this is what Krishna is saying. In the Bhagavad-gītā, the Lord has declared himself to be the supreme enjoyer of everything, Bhokta, Yaga-tapasam, and he is supreme proprietor of every planet, Sarvalok Maheshwaram, and Sruhidam Sarvabhutanam, and the supreme friend of all beings. No one else but Lord Śrī Krishna can claim to be the proprietor of everything within this creation. A pure devotee remembers this constantly. This is what is called remembering Krishna. Not to try to become and take the position of enjoyer or proprietor. And in doing so, he repeats the transcendental name, fame, and qualities of the Lord, which means that he is constantly in touch with the Lord. How we are performing the transcendental name, fame, qualities of the Lord? By the process of sadhana bhakti. This is what we were discussing in the morning also. Why we are waking up in the morning? What is the purpose of waking up in the morning? Is to perform sadhana bhakti. And where is sadhana bhakti being performed? Is it prescribed in Bhagavad-gītā? Krishna desires it, Krishna demands it, so we will do it. And any day that you do not wake up, that means that day you are telling Krishna that no, you are not the proprietor, I am the proprietor. I am not spirit soul, I am the body. So I want to enjoy through this body. Let me sleep. So the conceptions, there is nothing new. This is what Bhagavatam is. Bhagavatam is the elaboration of the principles given in Bhagavad-gītā. There is nothing new. So whatever Krishna has already spoken in very succinct, in very short way, it is an elaboration in Srimad Bhagavatam. So he is constantly in touch with the Lord. How he is constantly in touch with the Lord? How? Because he is executing the orders of the Lord. He is following the instructions of the Lord. The Lord is identical to his name, fame, etc. And therefore to be constantly associating with his name, fame, etc. means actually to associate with the Lord. So many times we have seen this. 1 second, just 1 second.
Hare Krishna.
1 second. Hare Krishna. So now comes the big test, that how much instruction we are ready to follow and to what extent. So there will be a jolt in the next para. The major portion of our monetary income, not less than 50%, must be spent to carry out the orders of Lord Krishna. Not only should we give out the profit of our earning to this cause, but we must also arrange to preach this cult of devotion to others, because that is also one of the orders of Lord. Where is this order given? One may say, "Arey, kahan likha hai?" Where is it given in Bhagavad-gītā? Where is Krishna giving this order? That one has to spend at least 50% of his income. You know what is Ardh Kukut Nyaya? You know Ardh Kukut Nyaya? How many of you know Ardh Kukut Nyaya? Don't know Ardh Kukut Nyaya? Only Ramya knows Ardh Kukut Nyaya? Or the half hen logic. It's called the half hen logic. Manoram, you don't know what is half hen logic?
Yes, Prabhuji, I think you discussed once, not properly, but yes, some portion I could.
Yeah, what is
When
half?
keeping the feeding part, giving the feeding part, but the part of portion of eggs, somebody will keep it with him.
Like the hen has two parts. It has the front part from where you have to feed, and it has the rear part from where it gives the eggs. So, if a person wants to have only the eggs and he does not want to feed, then what will happen? Can he have the eggs? He cannot have the egg. So similarly, if you want to follow Bhagavad-gītā, we have to follow Bhagavad-gītā completely. It is not that what is convenient to us, what is lacking to us, that portion we accept, and the other portion which is difficult for us, which is painful to us, that we reject. Then it is Ardh Kukut Nyaya. And that Krishna condemns and says is no following. There is no partial following. Either it is fully following or there is no following. There cannot be any Ardh Kukut Nyaya. Krishna is not saying you give 50%. What is Krishna saying? How much is Krishna asking? It is the same principle that we discussed. Yat karoshi, yat ashnashi, yat juhusi, tadasi yat. Where is Krishna saying that you keep half for yourself? Show the verse again. This is the mercy of the Acharya Srila Prabhupada. He is saying, okay, he is giving 50% concession. You begin here, come to here. Even he said, not begin here. You come to this level. Krishna is not saying you take 50%. He says you give everything to me. 100% to me. Whatever you do means whatever you earn, whatever reward, return, or profit that you get, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me fully. Read the purport. Come down. Thus, it is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget Krishna in any circumstances. Everyone has to work for maintenance of this body and soul together. And Krishna recommends herein that one should work for him. Everyone has to eat. So that means, even if you are maintaining the body and soul together, that means you have to work. You have to maintain the body. You have to eat. Everyone has to eat something to live. Therefore, you should accept the remnant of foodstuffs offered to Krishna. Any civilized man has to perform some religious, ritualistic ceremonies. Therefore, Krishna recommends, do it for me. This is called archan. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Krishna says, give it to me. And this means that all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Krishna consciousness. All. Only keep whatever is required to keep the soul and body together. Nowadays, people are very much inclined to the meditational process, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practices meditating on Krishna 24 hours a day by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Prabhupada, gives it such a twist. Meditation means chanting for Krishna. If you want to meditate, okay, you can meditate. What is the process of meditation? Chant 24 hours. Who can chant 24 hours? Who can imitate to be Haridas Thakur? But chanting the Hare Krishna mantra round his feet, that is also not allowed. That you are, contemplating or thinking that I am thinking about Krishna in my mind. No, chant on beats. He is surely the greatest meditator and greatest yogi, as substantiated by the 6th chapter of Bhagavad. Close it. The Lord definitely says that no one is more dear to him than one who is always engaged in the preaching work of the Lord's name and fame all over the world. Where is this verse? That no one is more dear to him than one who is always engaged in the preaching of his name and fame all over the world. Which verse is this? Every purport Prabhupada is quoting profusely Bhagavad-gītā. Which verse is this? You should all be knowing this verse. Yes, Sonika?
Prabhuji, is it the verse Satatam Kirtayanto Mam?
Please hear what we are discussing. That no one is dear to the Lord than one who is preaching his glories. What it means? You should all be knowing that is why there is no desire to preach. Why? Because we have not accepted this principle by Krishna. Krishna is saying that no one is dear to me. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than nor he will ever be more dear than one who preaches my glories. It is in the 18th chapter. 68th and 69th verse. So, Manoram Prabhu, 68th and 69th verse. Today we are reviewing Bhagavad-gītā. You are showing 18.68 and 69. Yaidam paramam guhyam madbhakteshu abhideshyati bhakti mai param kritva mameva eshyati asamshaya. Come down to the translation. For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees. What secret? Bhagavad-gītā. Yaidam paramam guhyam. And to whom? Madbhakteshu abhideshyati. To devotees. Because who can hear? Non-devotees cannot hear Bhagavad-gītā. Pure devotional service is guaranteed. Krishna is saying, Bhakti mai param kritva. He will, pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, Mam ev eshyati asamshaya. And he will come back to me. So the next verse. Next. Na chatasman manusheshu kashchin me priya krittama bhavitana cha mitasmat anya priya taro bhuvi. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be anyone more dear. This is the most confidential part Krishna is revealing. Kashchin me priya krittama, highest. So if you really want to be the dearmost to Krishna, we have to do one thing that pleases him the most, is to preach this message of Bhagavad-gītā to those who can be prospective devotees, for those who are devotees. So where is Dayashil? You are hearing? Dayashil, you have returned?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So at least this should become our motivation. This is bhagavat-paritoṣaṇam. Purna rupena toṣanam. He is not only satisfied, he is overjoyed. The Lord definitely says that no one is more dear to him than one who is always engaged in the preaching work of the Lord's name and fame all over the world. The scientific discoveries of this material world can be equally engaged in carrying out of orders. He wants the message of Bhagavad-gītā to be preached among his devotees. It may not be so done amongst those who have no credit of austerity, charity, education, etc. Therefore, the attempt must go on to convert unwilling men to become his devotees. This is what we have to do. This is the groundwork. You know what is the groundwork or the spade work? Spade work, जानते हो ना? To prepare the barren land. Spade work. खुदाई करना. This is what is required. Mahaprabhu said, I am the gardener. But how many plants and seeds can I sow alone? So I need so many hands. And whoever supports the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Maharaj was revealing the verse. Bharat bhumi to hoila manushya janma ja, janma sarthak kari kar par upkar. So one has to perfect his life and do welfare for others. How? By preaching the message of Bhagavad. If you have to preach, then you have to first accept, na? In the previous verse, this is what was there. This is what the instruction is. See, it was Bhagavad Shikshaya Asakrit Grihananti Gunanamani. Grihananti means to accept. First one has to accept, and then one can transfer or propagate or preach to others. So he wants the message of Bhagavad-gītā to be preached among his devotees. It may not be so done amongst those who have no credit for austerities, charity, education. Therefore, the attempt must go on to convert unwilling men to become his devotee. Here comes the point. I did not see it. Lord Chaitanya has taught a very simple method in this connection. He taught a lesson for the preaching of the transcendental message through singing, dancing, and refreshment. Singing is kirtan, nartan, and prasadam. All is singing, kirtan, nartan, and prasadam. As such, 50% of our income may be spent for this purpose. In this fallen age of quarrel and dissension, if only the leading and wealthy persons of society agree to spend 50% of their income in the service of the Lord, as it is taught by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is absolute certainty of converting this hell of pandemonium to the transcendental abode of the Lord. No one will disagree to partake in the function where good singing, dancing, and refreshment are administered. This is party. What do we do in party? What is party all about? In the most sought after party, what is there? There is singing, there is dancing, and there is eating. What else is party? So Krishna consciousness is always a party. So this party must continue. Sundara Dayashil, this party must continue. I remember once, after I came back from treatment in AIMS, one big HOD of AIMS had come, Dr. Anurag Srivastava, who was curing me. He came. So he had a desire to meet Guru Maharaj. So I requested Maharaj, and Maharaj immediately called him and me to come to his area. And the doctor said that, Maharaj, that we want that, once in a month, we can have one program in AIMS. Maharaj said, once in a month? Why once in a month? It should be minimum every week. Rather, it should be every day. So if you cannot do it every day, at least once in a week. Where is the difficulty in singing, dancing, and feasting? Who's complaining? And Maharaj immediately told me to call our temple president, and then and there he took commitment from him that every week you will go. And he took commitment from Dr. Anurag Srivastava, HOD, that every week you will conduct the program, and every week this devotee will go and he will be there to present. If you really want to remain in the state of joy, then this party must continue. This is Satatam Kirtayantam. But it has to be Yatantascha Dridhavrata. It cannot happen without. Prabhupada is saying that one who has not performed austerity, one who has not performed penance, one who has not received this education and training, it is impossible for him. See what a glorious purport Srila Prabhupada is giving. And what a glorious instruction Śrī Nārada Dev is giving. Prabhupada says, everyone will attend such a function and everyone is sure to feel individually the transcendental presence of the Lord. This alone will help the attendants associate with the Lord and thereby purify themselves in spiritual realization. The only condition for successfully executing such spiritual activity is there must be conducted under the guidance of a pure devotee. This is a very important point. Who is completely free from mundane desires, fruitive activities, and dry speculations about the nature of the Lord. Nothing to speculate. Everything is mentioned in Prabhupada. Under the guidance of the pure devotee. Who is the pure devotee? These are the criteria. Who is free from mundane desire, fruitive activities, and dry speculations. No one has to discover the nature of the Lord. It is already spoken by the Lord himself in the Bhagavad-gītā. Especially and in all other Vedic literatures generally. We have simply to accept them in toto, not arth-upajnana. What did Arjuna say? Sarvam etad ritan manne jñānaṁ vadasya. I accept everything you say as complete truth. There is no partial truth. Either there is truth or there is no truth. It is false. We have simply to accept them in toto and abide by the orders of the Lord. That will guide us to the path of perfection. One can remain in his position. No one has to change his position, especially in this age of variegated difficulties. Where is this word? Very beautiful verse. Sthane sthitam shruti gatam. Sthane sthitam means one has to remain in his own position. The only condition is that one must give up the habit of dry speculation aimed at becoming one with the Lord. And after giving up such lofty, puffed up vanities, one must very submissively receive the orders of the Lord in the Bhagavad-gītā or Bhagavatam from the lips of the bona fide devotees, whose qualification is mentioned above. What is the qualification? Free from all mundane desires, fruitive activities, and dry speculations. That will make everything successful without a doubt. So this section ends here. This is a section where Narada Muni is emphasizing that what Srila Vyāsadeva has to focus, what he has to present as the conclusion of all the Vedic literatures is bhagavat-paritoṣaṇam. Very beautiful. Bhagavad-paritoṣaṇam. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. If you have any question or something to contribute, please speak. Hare Krishna, I don't see anyone hand raised up, so I'll end here. I have some service. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Kindly keep reading, keep revising. You should have your own schedule of study. At least in 1 month, at least revise 1 chapter of Bhagavad-gītā. There is time. Everyone has 24 hours. We are not managing any Brahmand. We have time to try to put focus. Again and again revise Bhagavad-gītā. Again and again revise what we have read. If you can, you will find newer and newer inspiration and rasa